I think I'm very clear. The opposition there got it horribly wrong. They actually wanted to raise the issue of SIR. It started, then they wanted, a section wanted to raise the issue of vote chori. But government cleverly framed the debate, or the opposition agreed to electoral reforms debate. Once you agree to electoral reforms debate, then you open the window for, in a way, the way the opposition approached it was by sending mixed signals. They were not clear what they wanted to say on these issues. Once Amit Shah took the floor, and I believe, forget about a slightly unparliamentary word that he used in between, it almost made me feel, yeah, that's also okay to say a few words in parliament. Barring that, I thought it was a speech that hit the opposition where it hurt, because it then went into specific issues. And I think there, the government scored, and the opposition was completely confused. Just as the opposition was able to expose the government's agenda on Vande Mataram, I believe the government was able to expose the opposition on its failure to come out with clarity on electoral reform. I had a debate yesterday on electoral reform with former chief election commissioners and some people who worked on it. And they raised key issues. Money power. How are you going to reduce the use of money power in election? Why not look at proportional representation? Real solid ideas. None of which I saw in that debate in parliament. In parliament debate, it was almost, when we don't win, there is something wrong with the system. When we win, all is okay. And
so I think you're not convinced by the vote chori that Rahul Gandhi kept speaking of?
No, I have not been convinced unless I get much stronger hard evidence to suggest that this is being done on scale. Obviously, there are irregularities at some level in our electoral rolls that need to be cleaned up. I do believe that the SIR exercise is taking place with undue haste. There should be an exercise, but you cannot have it at the cost of BLOs being so stressed out. These are legitimate issues, but the opposition failed to provide a cohesive argument and thereby gave Amit Shah the chance to grandstand and make a strong political statement. So from that point of view, I do believe we need a much more focused debate on how do we make our politics cleaner and ensure a level playing field. I didn't see that in the debate from the opposition. Their charge sheet didn't quite work for me on electoral reform.
But at least to begin with, the opposition was successful in forcing a debate on electoral reforms, if not specifically and pointedly on SIR. I think that's where they kind of were able to build a narrative.
What's the point if you don't ask the right questions?
What's the point? Plus, you don't ask the right questions. There was no consistency between the opposition parties in terms of their arguments. There was no specific pointed demand like there was in the case of 2G, for example, wherein the opposition at that point in time in BJP, it forced the government and parliament to set up a joint parliamentary committee. So no outcome, plus the walkout defeats the purpose. If you walk out, then you give the narrative that you have nothing to say, and that